Today is day 4 of my 14 days of live. And today I want to talk about sweets. Sweets. Oh, sweet. Oh, sweet. I did do a post earlier on my Insta and TikTok about how I ate sweets every single day on my weight loss journey and still lost the weight. Um, and so I want to share with you how I did that and was still successful on my own weight loss journey and how you can do it too. Quick introduction. My name is Stephanie Rell, and I am a former nurse of 10 years and now a belly fat weight loss coach and personal trainer. And I help busy moms over 30 lose 15 pounds and inches off their waist in 90 days without overwhelm, counting calories, and giving up their sweets, which is what we're going to talk about today. So I'm super, super excited about this because all my life I have always had a sweet tooth. I think it just something that passed on from generations and generations. So my father, I think he was raised like always having dessert after dinner. So he always wanted dessert and still does. And likewise, that's how I grew up. And I always want some sort of sweet. But I have evolved from that and not necessarily needing a dessert after dinner, but having something sort of sweet to kind of tickle that craving and then be satisfied and happy and move on. So there might be a lot of you that's, have a sweet tooth, you struggle with snacking or just wanting sweets all the time and never can have, one, what's it called? Like one portion. I know I've been there. So I want to share with you 6 tips that I used for myself during my weight loss journey and how I every day still had sweets, and even today I still have sweets. I just can't live without them. But I had a method, I had a way of going about it. As I talked to you guys yesterday about the holidays, we're going to have tons of sweets coming up with family gatherings and parties. I mean, I don't think there's going to be not one family gathering or party that's not going to have at least one sweet, if not more. So, tip number 1 is I made nutrients a priority. So, I made sure that I got my vegetables in, my protein in, my plates were balanced, and I ate those things first. And then, after I satisfied my body's nutritional needs, then I moved on to my sweet. So instead of just having your sweet or carb loading or whatever it may be, I made sure that the nutrients were the priority. Like that was what I was going to have first. Make sure my body was taken care of with the nutrients that it needed, and then have my sweet. So that is the first tip. Number 2, I made healthier versions of my favorite sweets, and I always had them on hand. So there will be times where maybe you're hungry or maybe you're just having a craving. And what do we normally do when we're really hungry or really can't shake this craving? Our mind thinks, give me what I'm craving, give me what I'm craving. And so we'll naturally go toward whatever is readily available. Maybe your pantries have already pre-made stuff that you bought at the store, or it could be stuff that's been made, but they weren't necessarily a healthier version. So I, did my diligence in researching how I could make, say brownies or cookies, or, my favorite is ice cream. So I would try and make the healthier version of the things that I just naturally wanted in my everyday, snack or whatever, and make it in bulk. Have several portions that would last me during the week or 2 weeks, whatever it may be. And it's there, it's readily available. So when I do have that urge, whenever I have a craving, or whenever it was time, like for me to have my designated dessert or snack, it was there and I could have it at any time. Number 3, I owned my decision behind having a sweet without the guilt behind it. Too often, too often we hear or experience or hear from a friend or whatever that you ate something because you shouldn't have eaten it. It's bad, you can't eat this, whatever the mindset is behind that. And then what happens? You eat it because you don't have the willpower. You haven't made it a discipline to know, when you're going to eat some specific thing, what type of it, or whatever you're choosing for yourself. And then you eat it and you have guilt. I'm bad at this. I'm never going to lose the weight. I'm just hopeless. All these kind of things that you can say about yourself after eating the dessert, the sweet, whatever it may be. And so for me, I wanted to remove all negativity. I wanted to stop feeling bad about myself after eating something that I really liked. And I owned the decision. I said, okay, if I'm going to eat this, then I got to promise myself I'm not going to have guilt after eating it. So I made it a priority to, if I'm going to eat this, no guilt. If I feel like, I am going to have guilt and I really shouldn't eat this, then I'm just not going to eat it. So own your decision behind it and minimize or eliminate negativity as much as possible. Number 4, I refuse to continue old patterns around my eating and eating sweets in particular, because I had that sweet tooth. Because I would binge. I would not be able to just have one. And so I would have multiple. And I really wouldn't have a limit to myself on how much I ate. And so, starting my weight loss journey and knowing that I really wanted to lose this weight, I had to say to myself, like, no, I'm not going to continue in these old patterns. I'm going to have my sweets. I'm going to enjoy them. I'm not going to have any negativity behind it. And I'm going to stop this binge eating. I'm going to stop always having to eat so much or wanting sweets all the time. It was just like a vicious cycle. And so I created new habits around it, such as increasing my water intake, moving my body, making sure my plates were balanced and having enough protein on my plate, things like that, in order for me not to fall into the old negative type of patterns around eating. Number 5, and that was, I constantly listened to my body. I listened, and if something was making me feel upset, like bloating or indigestion, nausea, all these different things that can come with eating food, and I knew it was related to the particular thing I ate, or the particular time of day, or the amount that I ate at once, then I literally made note of that. A lot of times it takes more than just thinking about it, like actually physically writing things down, keeping note, keeping track, knowing the things that are going to get in the way and do more harm than good is super important as you are trying to not only lose weight, but live a healthy lifestyle and continue to live that healthy lifestyle. So I was constantly figuring out, okay, is there something that's making me feel ill? Because I had chronic like bloating. I suffered with that a lot. Chronic bloating, and I needed to figure out what was causing the bloating. And that was a couple of different things in my life that I soon figured out as I was going through my weight loss journey. But I had to listen to my body. And all of us are different. We all respond differently to foods, and we all have different types of behaviors around food. So just doing your diligence and listening to your body is super important. And my last tip for you today is I planned and tracked what I had. It was super important for me to do this because it allowed me to make valid assessments along with listening to my body. I had to literally write everything down, whether it was writing on a paper, like journaling, or using the multiple apps that we have on our app stores where you just jot it in and it even tells you your macros and everything like that. I started with paper. It just came natural. And even still, like today, I'm a little old fashioned in that way. Yes, I do use technology, but there's something for me about writing things down on paper first that really sticks and allows me to, I don't know, be more productive. And then later I will transcribe to something digital. That's what everything, everything, that's how I am. But I mean, there's various ways we can do this, and some people are overwhelmed with technology. Some people are a little more old fashioned, and I actually have quite a few of clients that are old fashioned. Like even when I give them recipes or meal plans, they will print it out. Even though I have a whole database online for them to just view, to go in and click, and it's all there saved, they still want to print it out. And when I give them like mindset exercise and stuff like that, they still want to write everything down. However it works for you, great, do that as long as you are getting the job done. And for me to actually plan it out, I knew what I was going to have each day. So I wasn't guessing game, oh, what should I eat? What should I cook? And then when you're undecided, like indecisive, and you can't make a decision, you go back and forth so many times that by the time you actually make a decision, or you still haven't made a decision, you are to the point of starving that you'll eat anything. And so you don't want to get yourself to those points. You want to make sure that you have actually planned it out and you have what you're going to eat. You're confident in that. You're excited for that. Like it creates excitement for you to be like, yeah, oh yeah, I had, this plan for day. I can't wait to have it. So like today for dinner, I made an eggplant Alfredo Parmesan, and it was something my husband requested. So it was already planned. This is the day I was going to make it. And I was like, oh, I'm really excited about this. Like it's not feeling daunting or a chore because I'm already have the anticipation for it. I already planned it out. So planning out what I was going to eat and then making sure I kept track. So that way I could kind of go back and look and see, okay, well, this day or this week, this is how my progress was. And then this week, it was a little different. And being able to go back and forth and just compare and contrast and assess, it creates like this roadmap for you so that you can be able to move forward in your weight loss. If not, then you're playing guessing games again. So you don't want to create confusion. You want to be able to see and compare and know exactly where you're headed and be able to correct what isn't working. So that was super important for me. So those are my top 6 tips on how I ate my sweets every single day and still lost 60 pounds on my weight loss journey. And I know you can too. You just need to start implementing these tips and really be diligent, have discipline, and chase after your true desires. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope it was helpful to see the tips at the bottom below. I'm going to be experimenting a little more with StreamYard. It will be a nice, useful tool because as I go into the 5-day challenge that's coming up November 14th, I want to be able to have some points that is clear to be seen and everything like that. So let me know. Give me some feedback, comments below, and I will respond to your comments. I hope you enjoyed today's content, and I will be back tomorrow for another live. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.